Hi guys, and welcome to another 𝗙𝗪𝗎30. I'm here with Darko, and we are talking today about maintenance of textiles, of garments. Maybe Darko, you explain, before we jump into the topic, you explain a little bit what you did before you joined 𝗙𝗪.
Definitely. Glad to be here. Hi, everybody. If you watch the previous shows, you probably know I come from the background, from the military background. I was 19 years in the military. Most of those years were in infantry. Been deployed 5 times, various deployments over the world. And now I'm a part of a 𝗙𝗪 team.
Yeah, and we are so happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
Especially because you're the one that gives us that crucial feedback, what's happening with our clothing in the field, or I would go even further, what is really needed and what is just, the bells and whistles, which are total nonsense, which you see a lot in the industry. But there is one topic, we are getting every now and then, we are getting returns. Okay. And if I'm looking at some of these returns, then I wonder if these people wash their clothing at all.
Oh, this topic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know it's a sore topic. I know.
Okay, let's go.
But I guess what is really important here is, to remain practical. Mm-hmm. I can imagine that you have limited possibilities to take care about your clothing, to maintain your clothing, wash your clothing. So what you usually face when you're, not in the barracks at home, but when you're out in the field, let's say maneuvers, or really being deployed somewhere, Mali, Afghanistan, or any other nice place of this world.
Well, yeah, probably the biggest thing we have to face is our own laziness.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Because it is way too easy to stuff your dirty clothes in your one of the compartments of your backpack and forget about them. It doesn't matter if they're wet,
sounds familiar,
sweaty, muddy, whatever.
Yeah.
Put them in there, we forget about them, and that's it.
And you think that someone has taken your favorite Gore-Tex jacket away from you because you were looking for it for the last 6 weeks?
There we go, yeah. And you find it all moldy after 6 weeks in that pocket that you put it in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and then you send it to 𝗙𝗪.
Normally it shouldn't get moldy after
Absolutely.
6 weeks of being stuck wet in a backpack, of course.
I really like that you expect a lot from us. Yeah, I really like that. But
I definitely.
Maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, but getting back to the serious, this is my experience from the field, especially in my early days as a soldier. This is what we did. And of course, we came back and we complained about how our Gore-Tex is all leaky and it doesn't work. How we have to throw away our clothes because they smell funny. You can't get rid of the smell. Or there are some weird stains on that were never there before, and now they don't come off. And stuff like that. And of course, all of that was, especially in the early years, I had to learn the hard way. All of this was because we didn't use the options we had in the field to take care of our uniforms. But we did take care of our weapons.
Oh yeah. That is a point. Sometimes you think. You wonder, you're spending so much time, you're investing so much time about cleaning your gear, your weapons and everything, but the clothing, that is just...
No, it's just nobody thinks about
it. The clothing is actually, that's your personal first responder. That's the last layer and the first layer of protection that you have against the environment. And so, I mean, this should be at least as important as your weapon or the other parts of the equipment.
I totally agree, and that's something that NCO Corps should take more emphasis in all the militaries and their equivalents in the law enforcement, because the military does put a lot of emphasis on what to take with you on a mission. So what parts of a uniform will you take, or what to wear, so not to overheat or anything. But most of the times in the field, we forget that the story doesn't end here.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning, and you have to have a plan on how are you going to maintain your stuff to keep it as dry and as fit for the next time you're going to use it, as it, let's say, the situation allows. And again, this is probably the main culprit here is going to be the Gore-Tex, because that's the piece that you put on and off most of the times.
Yeah, I think for clothing, the same statement, like for all of your equipment, is valid, that the better you maintain it, the better it works.
Definitely.
And the more reliable it is. And textiles are, I mean, they're in the end, they're they're made up of very thin fibers. And these fibers are put together and then put into a structure and then into a clothing. So at the end, you have a very thin fiber, and whatever debris is collected in the structure and is not properly washed out, or, I mean, taken out of that structure, it stays there, and it always abrades the fibers. And once the fibers start to abrade and break, then
they become weaker.
It's the beginning. It's the beginning of a hole. It's the beginning of a crack. And then at the end, you say, okay, well, I got caught by a bush, and the bush caused a tore, a rip, or a hole, and broke a rip, a hole in my garment. But it started with that the garment was not taken care of properly.
Yeah, probably because it wasn't washed.
Because it was getting weaker. You know, it was getting weaker. And then what a lot of people don't know, and I mean, I remember my times in the military. You were just wearing one set of uniform for the whole week.
Oh, yeah. Of course, that's normal.
Nobody told me at that time that textiles need to relax. After wearing, you need to relax your clothes at least for 12 hours so that they dry out, they relax again. You can significantly prolong the lifetime of your garments if you really relax them between use.
Definitely. I mean, and if you have the time in the field, and if your mission allows it and the situation allows it, you should definitely do that. Did I do it? No.
I mean, of course.
Did I feel the consequences?
Oh, of course you did.
Yes, I did.
I mean, clearly, you wouldn't take a washing machine on a recce mission.
Not yet. They don't have it in the Humvees yet.
But when you're back, I mean, we're talking about what you do when you're back. So when you're back in the barracks, when you have the possibilities, and the ideal thing would be you wash them at the temperature and with the program which is on the care labels.
On the care labels, yeah.
Yeah. Each garment has a care label. It's by law. It has to be provided with the garment. It's a care label sewn into the garment. There it states clearly the temperature at which you should wash it.
Yeah, and probably a couple of other tricks. I remember our time that we were, let's say, the easy deployment, like Kosovo. There we had issues just like that, where we turned in our dirty uniforms to our contractors. And of course, they washed them at 90 degrees, high heat, and then throw them in the dryer, again on high heat. They came out a lot shorter. All the camo patterns were faded out.
Yeah.
It was a disaster, and we actually started buying. The units started buying their own washing machine, so the guys could wash them.
Yeah.
And what I found out is, I have no idea if this helps in any way. It looks like it did. We used to turn them around.
Absolutely.
Turn them inside out.
Yep.
Before we put them in the washer.
Yep. Absolutely.
And dryer was always on low heat. I mean, you left it there a little bit longer if you had a dryer. But what I found out is the best thing is air dried.
Air dried.
Just hang it somewhere if you can't. Leave it on the fresh air.
Yeah.
And
I mean, even though we recommend that, especially garments which have a water repellent treatment on it, that you put them at a mid temperature into the tumble dryer. You reactivate the water repellency of the treatment
that's useful.
which is on it. Yeah, but otherwise, of course, you hang it out. You hang it out in the sun and you dry it. But of course, there you should also have it turned inside out because UV light impacts on the colors.
You just prolong that camel pattern colors a little bit longer, and it always turned out good.
And there is another thing. I mean, most of the camel patterns have an incorporated infrared night vision protection. So you should be careful with the washing powder, the wash detergent that you're using. It shouldn't have bleach in it. There shouldn't be any artificial color enhancers. Because
I'm sure nobody in Kosovo know about that.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely sure. I think 99% of the people don't know it.
Yeah.
So these color activators, they actually make sure that in night vision that you're a light green spot. Absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Bleach, the same thing. Bleach, the same thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Most of the people make the mistakes there. I mean, if I want to test competitors' garments' performance under night vision and demonstrate that to somebody, I would wash them in bleach before.
And then put them under the night vision.
Absolutely.
There we go.
You make sure that it shines like a Christmas tree.
But that is a fair point, because I remember a lot of times I came home, let's say from exercises in the field or any kind of prolonged training. What I did is just threw the clothes into the designated area where then they disappear magically and they end up folded up, washed in the cupboard.
Or in
Yeah. Of course, my magician wife does that. I don't know how she does it, but I put them there and then they magically reappear somewhere else. But we never discussed that, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, that she used what she had.
Absolutely.
We never discussed that. Color enhancers or any kind of detergent that has bleach in it is not good for the uniforms, and because I didn't know that.
You don't see it. You don't see it. You only see it under night vision. So very important, guys. Just remember it. Don't use bleach. Don't use detergents with artificial color enhancers. So whatever, that stuff kills the infrared.
Or at least inform your wives.
Absolutely.
Not to use that.
Yeah, but I think there is also something which you could actually do when you're out in the field, just in order to take a little bit care of your clothing, and that is, loose threads. Check your clothes for loose threads.
Yeah, that's something we did.
A loose thread, that's the beginning of a rip. Of a seam which is opening up, and you can avoid that by
burning. Yeah. Burning is a very good thing to do.
Burning it. Put the dirt out of your Velcros. That's also something which is very important.
You learned that with experience, because I never did that. I mean, never. I learned the hard way that it's a very good idea to clean the Velcro, because especially on the loop end. Stuff gets caught in, and Velcro doesn't work anymore. And
Yeah, absolutely. And for the washing, definitely close your Velcros when you're washing, because in the washing machine they will catch everything which is coming close.
that's also my.
And you take it away from it, and it's the beginning of a fluffy surface on the textiles.
This is something I also learned the hard way.
We all did.
Yeah.
And we still do.
Especially name tags.
Yeah.
I always took my name tags off and everything, put them in the washer. Of course, the soft parts of Velcro just became fluffy, and I mean, it's a mess.
Yeah.
It just starts like blooming on your uniform. But after a while, after a couple of times when I left them on by accident, I saw that this is actually preventing that to happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And so I left them on.
Okay.
So I always left my name tags on.
That's a very good recommendation. Great.
Yeah.
You mentioned before Gore-Tex. I think what most of the people are not aware of is that this performance that you expect from Gore-Tex to be waterproof, to be breathable, that this is due to a very thin and fine membrane which is sandwiched in between two layers of fabric. So it's in between, you don't see it. But of course, when you're outside and you're wearing Gore-Tex, of course, outside, then you have dirt which is mounting in the structure of the fabric.
Oh yeah,
It's in the structure, so you're collecting whatever,
like getting from rubbing on your
and that stuff. Then I mean, with the rucksack on top or with your plate carrier, body armor, it's really rubbed through the structure and then through the membrane. And once it is through the membrane, it leaves micro damages. And these micro damages are leakages. As good as Gore-Tex is, but it's mechanical leakages, which are it's almost the end of the garment.
I totally understand, and you probably wouldn't like my answer if you asked me how many times did I wash my backpack or my shoulder straps.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to go into how many times I washed my body armor or plate carrier.
Of course you don't. No? But what you could do is you could wash your Gore-Tex, or I mean you don't even have to wash it with a detergent, but you just have to make sure that this debris, that this sand, that this micro contamination gets out of the structure. So you could wash it just with water, or you put it in the river and you just get rid of the.
And what we did in Afghanistan, actually, where there's that really fine, we called it moon dust, really fine sand. After each time we came back, we stopped, let's say, at our maintenance bay and used an air gun to air ourselves off, just to get all of that off.
Absolutely.
And of course from our weapons and from our clothes. And that, I'm pretty sure it helped quite extensively, because at least we didn't have that. When you let's say you gave it to the contractors for washing and everything else, when you got it back, if you didn't like air dry it, air blow it, it came back like sandpaper a little bit. But if you did that, it came back nice. And I mean, probably because that was the thing that we got the moon dust off.
You got the moon dust off.
Yeah, that's one thing we did is after every time we came back, we.
Cool. That's cool.
We did that.
Yeah. And you have that usually in the camp.
Well, you just got to be a good buddy with the maintenance guys, and every maintenance bay has a compressor with a air gun because they need it for whatever they need it for.
Yeah.
And you stop there. It takes a couple of minutes. Just air blow yourself everything off with the weapons, and works perfectly.
I mean, getting back to the Gore-Tex, the worst particle contamination you're getting in salt water. So salt water, the salt crystals, they will accumulate in your fabric structure, and they are needle sharp. They're so sharp. It doesn't take a week until you damage your precious Gore-Tex garment if you don't clean it. So do like you do also with your dry suit, with your diving equipment. Put it into fresh water. Put it into fresh water. Rinse it thoroughly in fresh water and try to get the salt out.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I would never think of that. Salt water is like my sweat.
Yeah.
Really don't care.
Here you have it, sweat. Sweat, I mean, how much are we sweating into clothing? So therefore, again, wash your clothes, get these crystals out. And then in the sweat, you have also certain oils. So whatever is bad for the textile should not stay there. It should not remain there for longer than a couple of hours, ideally, because it starts to degrade. Usually, I mean, there is so much reserve built in the fabric, in the textile, that it takes some time until you get real damage. But you can be sure that whatever gets into that structure and doesn't belong there is going to wear it down.
Yeah, and it is a thing that nobody looks at. I mean, like we talked at the beginning, I mean, we all maintain our vehicles, we all maintain our weapons, we all maintain our comms and everything else. Just uniforms, it's usually, like I said, I mean, you bring it home, they magically reappear in your cupboard or wherever you store them, thanks to all the wives, and that's it. But through the years and through experience, and let's say a bad experience, what I've learned also is that I know this. What I'm going to say next is kind of like against army regulation, but if you store your clothes, even when they're clean and everything, on the hanger, so they're aired out and everything, usually it's a lot better than if they're folded up nicely in an A4 format in your locker. Sometimes that could turn bad because the moisture and everything, maybe in the room or whatever. But if it
stays in there.
Yeah, if they're hanged on the hanger,
that's better.
They're going to drive.
Air
and air circulation just helps maintain them even when clean.
Which brings me to the thermal insulation garments. I mean, there it is really important that they should be, on a hanger, not compressed, because if they are compressed over a longer time, then the thermal insulation is just going down. Absolutely important for thermal insulation garments. Don't pack them or put something heavy on it. You're really reducing and impacting on the thermal insulation.
Of course, Now that I think about it,
And keeping those garments, precious garments, in your backpack is not a good idea. To keep them for a longer time. I mean, of course, for the mission, that's clear, and that is also usually what they can take. I mean, a couple of hours in the backpack, 3-4 days, that's okay. But don't leave them there for the whole summer and take them out in the winter again.
And which brings us to our next, let's say, my next experience is back in the days. I mean, we had those backpacks, let's say emergency packs that we always had to have packed by the packing list. What I found out, in my experience, that's probably for all the military out there, is maybe this is not so necessary because, I understand the quick reaction forces and everything, but that's something when you're deployed. Once you're in the barracks, somewhere next to your hometown or wherever in country, maybe they should reconsider that, because a lot of the clothes that you keep in there, I can tell you from my experience, I left it in there sometimes even for a couple of months. Didn't take them out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to, because my backpack was always nicely packed, and I always had my packing
Ready
list
to go.
Yeah, checked out, so my NCOs didn't smoke the hell out of me. Of course, but that's probably not a good idea, because our military, even law enforcement, does not react like in a moment's notice anymore. You always have some, let's say, pre-indications to prepare. So some of, let's say, like winter gear, maybe they should consider having them close at hand, but not tightly packed somewhere in the backpack.
Another option would be that you just repack them once a week, but you don't do it. Laziness, like you mentioned before, it's the laziness.
That's the problem.
You could repack them every week, and you could take the stuff that you had before in there and put the other gear, because of most of the items you don't get just one. So you have 3, 4, 5 pairs of pants.
Nobody did that.
Yeah, of course nobody did it. Of course, it's a laziness.
Like you said, laziness.
It's a laziness. It's a laziness.
But that is something to consider, because of course all your insulation. I mean, after a couple of months in the summertime, if somebody says in the packing list you have to have let's say a winter gear or something that has insulation, you're going to leave it there for the whole summer.
True.
If you're not going to have an inspection.
Yeah.
And it's going to stay in there if the NCO says it has to be in the packing list. And that is something to consider.
Yeah.
If that's a good point. Yeah, but maintaining uniforms, usually you learn it the hard way. Yes. When you mess up quite a lot of times, that this is a thing that needs to be considered pre, mid, and post mission.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter which branch of uniform you fall under, or even the private sector. But
absolutely,
that is something to consider. And there's variable things to point out, like we said, like the infrared properties.
Question: did you have a sewing kit in your?
We did. Did
you take it with you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
No, we did. No, I'm joking. We did. That's probably one of the things that was always, at least with me. I remember that most of my soldiers had it.
Yeah.
Rarely I had a soldier without it. The issue that rose up is how many times did we use it?
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's a good idea that if you detect there is already a hole in your pants, little hole, you can be sure that little hole by the end of the mission will be a big hole. So whenever you see a hole, take your needle out and take the 5 minutes and just sew it up. Sew it up. I mean, you can it doesn't need to be nice, but whatever is already ripped, even if you have a ripstop fabric, it will continue to rip. So,
and that is something that we definitely didn't do. And coming back to those laziness,
I know
everybody waited till it became like a very big rip in your, and then when you came back to the fob or cob or whatever, somewhere safe, if the law guys didn't hook you up with a new pair of pants or something, or a new pair of uniform, you sew it up, but by then it was like a foot long and it looked horrible. And this is something that that's definitely worth doing, is taking those 5 minutes, and if the mission permits, and plug that hole when it's nice and small, instead of when it's a big rip, because our sewing abilities were not that good.
Of course, yeah. But you don't have to make a surgical seam, or it doesn't have to be nice. It just has to make sure that it stays together and that it doesn't continue to rip.
Definitely, and it's a lot easier to do it when the hole is like this.
Absolutely.
instead of when it's like
right,
this. So,
right.
Yeah, that is a very good point, and sad to say, usually we didn't do it, and it's something we should do. It.
Same with a seam that starts to open. I mean, at the end, this is, it's not indestructible, even though UF Pro garments are expensive. I understand that. There's a reason for it, but it's not indestructible. So people should be really. I mean, they should be aware of it, that everything can break. Textiles can break. They are not made like a tank. If you see something that starts to rip, then just sew it. A seam that starts to open up, sew it. I mean, just make sure that it's not continuing to rip. You don't have to sew it until the end. I mean, if I have a seam which is that much open and I don't have time, I just make here a stop seam, here a stop seam, and then with this it's secured. It's not going to open up again
anymore. Okay.
So I don't have to sew it the whole way. So just make sure
on the edges.
Just at the edges. Just make a bar tack in there. Sew it for a couple of times up, and then it doesn't rip. It doesn't continue to open up. Easy.
Yeah, I think that the uniform is, or let's say the garments are most underestimated piece of equipment in the uniform part of the world, and most of the people don't consider it a mission critical gear because it's just self-explanatory that you don't go naked. But this is something that that military, law enforcement, and the private sector should do. I mean, uniform, at the end of the day, it is mission critical equipment. As you stated at first. I mean, this is the first and the last layer of your defense against your skin. I mean, if you take out from the elements, if you take out the body armor and everything else, I mean, you don't wear body armor on your legs, or at least I didn't see nobody.
I give you a very simple example, and that was the Second World War, Singapore. Fall of Singapore. If you look at the British soldier there, what he was wearing, and if you look at the Japanese soldier, what he was wearing. They were fighting in the jungle. So the British soldier had shorts. They had shorts.
But they were comfortable.
They were super comfortable, but I think I heard something that 30 to 40% of the troops that they had to take out of battle was due to infections caused by scratches. So that gives you a very clear direction. Protect your skin. Because you get an infection. If you get an infection in jungle warfare, this is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, that's a knockout blow for that soldier. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, okay, you have antibiotics, but if you don't have them, you have a problem.
Well, even if you have antibiotics, you have to take that soldier out. Use your resources to get him in the hospital and everything else, and to treat him.
And the Japanese, instead, they wore thick. Of course, in the beginning, you would say they are uncomfortable because they're warm. Yeah, but they were really protecting themselves. They had these gaiters, these... I don't know how you call them in English. In German, we call them Wickelgamaschen. So it was really wool that they were wrapping around the lower part of the legs.
To protect their legs just from those kind of cuts and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's probably why they won with such inferior forces.
Yeah.
And this is just another point that just puts an emphasis on how mission critical uniform can be. And there's a reason more to
I would have another example that has nothing to do with maintenance, but it's also interesting to see how mission critical it is. Falkland War.
Okay, yeah.
30% of the British soldiers had to be taken out of battle because of trench foot.
Oh, really?
Yep, 30%. So
I never knew that.
You bring them half around the world to get into battle, and then 30% of them you have to take out because they didn't wear proper footwear, and they got trench foot.
And trench foot sucks.
Trench foot sucks. I mean, you leave the battlefield.
Yeah, you have one less rifle and one less soldier on the field.
30%. So you see
Wow, I never knew that.
how mission critical clothing is.
Definitely, all these points bring it out, and it's probably the most neglected thing when it comes to maintenance.
Yeah.
And I definitely know I had to learn the hard way that maintenance on your uniform has to be done right. If not else, you're going to be wet.
Oh yeah.
And the only thing or the only reason that you're wet is because you didn't take care of your Gore-Tex as you should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
at the end, I hear quite a lot of times, the Gore-Tex doesn't work, it didn't work.
That was my excuse, of course.
It didn't work, okay.
Just a sucky Gore-Tex.
I mean, whenever we are getting claims about Gore-Tex, there is micro-perforation is the reason for it.
Mm-hmm. And that's because of that dirt that we were talking about before,
Absolutely, absolutely. We were, at the times when I was still working at Gore-Tex, we were evaluating... it was the German military. We were evaluating their Gore-Tex kit, and we got, after 3 months, almost all the garments had micro-perforation.
Yep, I can totally understand.
Because of that. I mean, not just because of that. There is also other reasons for micro-perforation. But dirt in the structure, that's reason number one.
I can totally get the point. I mean, based on my experience, what we did or what I did with our Gore-Tex, it's I'm kind of surprised it hold together at all, and we still do it. And we still do it. We never, like we said, we never think of uniform, any part of uniform, as mission critical. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Talking about socks, pants, and any protection that it offers, and how to maintain it.
Okay. So this is the mission for this Beer 30. Take care of your clothes, because then they take care of you. I think we delivered the message.
Hopefully you understood. Educate your wives.
We were absolutely happy to share this information with you, and we hope that you check in one of our next Beer 30s.
Yeah.
Take care.
See you. Bye.
Cheers.
So there you have it. This concludes another episode of UF Pro's Beer 30 podcast. Want more information about UF Pro and tactical clothing for professional end users? Then please visit ufpro.com or follow our channels on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.